Deion Sanders' proud NFL roll call. How Coach Prime's rookies lit up preseason and brought Buffalo's grit to the big stage. The NFL preseason is supposed to be quiet, a time for veterans to pace themselves, for rookies to fight in the shadows, and for fans to stretch their legs before September's chaos. But for a select group of fresh-faced players, and the legendary man who once coached them, the opening whistle was not a soft warm-up. It was a lightning strike. For Deion Sanders, better known to the world as Coach Prime, the early days of the 2025 NFL preseason were more than a string of scrimmages. They were a victory lap, not for himself, but for the young men who had carried his playbook, his trust, and his belief from college fields into the most intimidating football arenas in the world. This was no small roll call. It was a carefully curated moment, captured not on the sidelines but on a glowing smartphone screen. Sanders' Instagram account became a digital trophy case, its carousel of pictures and tags transformed into a tribute to the rookies and one second-year pro who once called him their coach. The Instagram shout-out heard around football. It began as the thunder of shoulder pads echoed across NFL practice fields. The week's games were done, the adrenaline still fresh, and Deion Sanders Jr., acting as his father's digital right hand, took control of Coach Prime's account. What appeared was more than a highlight reel. There were action shots of ex-Colorado Buffaloes in their new NFL jerseys, close-ups of determined faces under helmet visors, and moments frozen in celebration. Beneath it all, a caption that read like a proud father's roll call. At Bjgreenel, at J5Fleazy, at Shilla Sanders, at Cameron Silman 7, at DB3_tip, at Shedeur Sanders, at Legente, at Top 10.say, at Will Shep 14. These last few days have been a blessing. Hashtag Coach Prime at Cubbuffs Football, posted by at Deion Sanders Jr. For outsiders, it might have seemed like just another shout-out post. But for those who know Deion Sanders, it was a statement of lineage. Every tag was a name he had personally polished, mentored, and pushed. First at Jackson State, then at Colorado, and now onto NFL rosters. The Buffaloes who made it. Among the 9 names, the spread of talent was staggering. BJ Green II, DE, now with the Jaguars, a defensive disruptor built like a brick wall but quick enough to surprise quarterbacks. Cameron Silman Craig, S, another Jaguar, whose ball-hawking instincts had already turned heads in training camp. Travis Hunter, wide receiver/cornerback, perhaps the most celebrated of the group, a dual-threat phenom whose ability to dominate on both sides of the ball has NFL insiders buzzing. Jimmy Horn Jr., WR. Wearing Panthers colors now, he's been stretching defenses and showing the same speed he flashed in Boulder. LaJohntay Wester, WR. A Raven now, bringing crisp routes and sticky hands to Baltimore's offense. Will Shepard, WR. Suiting up for the Packers, already earning praise for his footwork and ability to create separation. Xavier Weaver, WR. Entering his second NFL season with the Cardinals, finally stepping into a bigger role. Shiloh Sanders, S. Coach Prime's hard-hitting son now battling for his spot with the Buccaneers. Shedeur Sanders, QB. The headliner, the Browns rookie who just threw his first NFL touchdowns. It was a fraternity forged in sweat, long practices, and mutual belief. The Shedeur moment. Of course, in a list this stacked, there was one name that pulled the camera into a tighter focus: Shedeur Sanders. On a Friday night that could have passed like any other preseason game, Shedeur walked into Cleveland Browns Stadium wearing the weight of expectations and the whispers of doubt. By halftime, he had turned those whispers into applause. Facing the Carolina Panthers, Shedeur fired a perfect strike to Caden Davis for his first NFL touchdown. The ball left his hand like a promise kept, cutting through the defense and landing exactly where it needed to be. By the end of the night, his numbers told the story. 14 completions on 23 attempts, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 19 yards rushing. When that second TD hit, Deion Sanders, watching from afar, couldn't contain himself. He hit X, formerly Twitter, with a loud, joyful, "Oh yeah, what now?" But the stat sheet wasn't what made it magical. It was the path to this moment. The road to Cleveland. Shedur's arrival in Cleveland wasn't greeted with a red carpet. Drafted later than he expected, 143 players went ahead of him. He came into a quarterback room already dealing with injuries and uncertainty. Critics questioned whether his college heroics would translate against NFL speed. But Shedur didn't flinch. He attacked training camp with the same obsessive preparation he had shown in Boulder. Every rep was treated like a championship down. Every meeting an opportunity to sharpen the blade. Behind the scenes, there were 3 crucial father-son phone calls in the days leading up to his debut. No fluff, no sugarcoating. Just raw advice from a man who had lived through the glare of pro football spotlight. Coach Prime's pre-game prediction. Deion Sanders didn't just believe Shedur would play well. He predicted trouble for the other team. "It's going to be a problem out there tonight, dog. I promise you that," he told reporters before the game. It wasn't blind faith. It was built on years of watching Shedur block out noise, lock in, and treat every snap like it mattered. That mental armor was forged in countless practices and big games, and it showed in Cleveland. The humble aftermath. Post-game, Shedur didn't talk about making statements or silencing critics. "I think I was okay today," he said. "But the next opportunity I just got to build on this one." That's the mindset Coach Prime has been drilling into his players for years. Success is just the starting point. The Buffalo's NFL grit. While Shedur's night grabbed headlines, the other ex-Buffs were quietly proving that Coach Prime's coaching DNA travels well. Travis Hunter's versatility was already the talk of Jacksonville's camp. Jimmy Horn Jr. was creating matchup nightmares in Carolina. Shiloh Sanders was making his presence felt in Tampa's secondary. Wester, Shepard, Weaver, and Green were each finding their lane on NFL rosters, carrying the grit of Boulder into every practice. This wasn't just about one quarterback's debut. It was about a network of belief, the idea that once you've been through the crucible of Coach Prime's program, you can walk into any locker room and belong. More than football. For Deion Sanders, these moments are about more than box scores. They're proof that the culture he built, one rooted in trust, work ethic, and fearlessness, is alive in the NFL. From Jackson State to Colorado to Sunday stadiums, his players are a living extension of his philosophy. And if the first week of preseason is any indication, this Buffalo's to NFL pipeline is only getting stronger. "These last few days have been a blessing," the Instagram caption read. And for Coach Prime, that blessing isn't just seeing his players succeed. It's watching them carry his legacy forward, one snap at a time. Bottom line, the NFL preseason has a new subplot, the rise of Deion Sanders' protégés. Whether it's Shedur's pinpoint passes, Travis Hunter's game-breaking versatility, or the quiet grind of guys like Green and Wester, the message is clear. The next generation of prime-trained talent has arrived, and they're not here to blend in.